Hi everyone, I'm so glad you're here. Today, I want to share something really simple that's going to help you speak English more naturally and confidently. This isn't about memorizing grammar rules or studying boring textbooks. This is about actually using English the way real people do, every single day. If you've been learning English for a while, but still feel stuck when you try to speak, you're not alone. So many people feel this way. They study hard, they know a lot of words, but when it comes to actually talking, something just doesn't click. Today, I'm going to show you why that happens and how to fix it with one simple method that really works. Let me start by asking you something. When you learned your first language as a baby, did anyone teach you grammar rules? No, right? You just heard people talking around you, and gradually, you started speaking too. Your brain learned by listening and copying what you heard. It's the same with English. We need to use our brain the same way. The problem is, most English learning focuses on reading and writing. We spend hours looking at textbooks, doing exercises, and memorizing vocabulary lists. But speaking English is different. It's active, it's real, and we need to practice it in a real way. So here's the simple method I want to teach you. I call it the listening and repeating technique. It sounds super simple, and it is, but it's also incredibly powerful. Let me explain exactly how it works. The idea is this. You find content in English that interests you. This could be a short video, a podcast, a song, anything really. Something you actually want to listen to. Then you listen to it carefully and you repeat what you hear out loud. That's it. That's the whole method. But there's a proper way to do this, and that's what makes it work so well. Let me break it down into steps so it's really clear. Step 1 is choosing your material. This is important. You need to pick something that's at your level or just slightly above it. If it's too hard, you'll get frustrated. If it's too easy, you won't learn much. And please, pick something you actually enjoy. If you like cooking, find cooking videos in English. If you like music, find songs you like. If you like movies, watch movie clips. Your interest matters because you'll be more motivated to do this regularly. For beginners, I recommend starting with simple content. Children's stories are great. YouTube channels made for learners are perfect. Slow English videos are wonderful. There are so many options out there, and they're free. Just search for English for Beginners or Slow English, and you'll find tons of material. Step 2 is listening actively. This means really paying attention. Don't just play it in the background. Sit down, focus, and listen carefully. Try to understand what you're hearing. If you don't understand every word, that's okay. Try to get the general idea. Maybe listen twice if you need to. The first time, just listen. The second time, read a transcript if you have one, or think about what you understood. Step 3 is the most important part. You repeat what you hear out loud. This is where the real learning happens. After listening to a sentence or a short phrase, pause the audio and say it exactly as you heard it. Try to copy the pronunciation, the stress, the rhythm, everything. Don't whisper. Actually speak it out loud. This is really important because when you speak, your mouth and your brain are working together, and that helps you learn faster. At first, you might feel silly doing this. You might feel embarrassed repeating words out loud by yourself. But I promise you, this feeling goes away. And more importantly, this technique works incredibly well. When you physically say words out loud, they stick in your brain so much better than if you just read them or listen passively. Step 4 is doing this regularly. Consistency matters more than duration. It's better to practice 15 minutes every day than to do 3 hours once a week. Find a time that works for you. Maybe it's in the morning with your coffee. Maybe it's on your commute. Maybe it's before bed. When you do it doesn't matter as much as actually doing it regularly. I recommend starting with just 15 minutes a day. That's manageable for most people. As you get more comfortable, you can increase it if you want. But honestly, 15 minutes every single day will change your English in just a few weeks. Let me explain why this method is so effective. When you listen and repeat, several important things happen in your brain. First, you're training your ear. English speakers have different sounds than many other languages. They connect words together in ways that might sound strange at first. They stress certain syllables and not others. When you listen carefully and repeat, your ear learns these patterns. Your brain starts to understand what English really sounds like. Second, you're building muscle memory. Your mouth has specific muscles that work in specific ways when you speak. Just like learning to play a sport or an instrument, you need to train these muscles. When you repeat words and sentences out loud, you're training your mouth to make the right sounds. This happens automatically over time. Third, you're improving your pronunciation naturally. You're not studying pronunciation rules. You're not learning about phonetics. You're simply copying what you hear. But this copying is actually a very sophisticated thing. Your brain is analyzing tiny details about how words are pronounced, and your mouth is learning to do the same thing. Fourth, you're learning the natural rhythm and speed of English. English speakers talk in a certain way. We pause in certain places, we stress certain words, we connect words together. When you listen and repeat, you're absorbing all of these patterns naturally, without thinking about them. Fifth, you're building vocabulary in context. You're not learning isolated words from a list. You're learning words as they're actually used in real speech, with real meaning and real emotion. This makes the words stick in your memory much better. Sixth, you're boosting your confidence. Every time you successfully repeat what you hear, your confidence grows. You realize that you can do this. You can speak English. It starts to feel more natural and less scary. Now let me give you some practical tips to make this method even more effective. Tip number 1 is to start with short clips. Don't try to listen and repeat a whole 20-minute video. Start with just 2 or 3 minutes. Listen once or twice, then repeat. As you get better, gradually increase the length. Tip number 2 is to use subtitles at first. Read the subtitle while you listen. This helps you understand what you're hearing. Subtitles in your native language are okay at the very beginning, but try to switch to English subtitles as soon as you can. This helps you connect the words you hear with how they're written. Tip number 3 is to choose content with clear speech. Actors and teachers speak very clearly, which is perfect for learning. Avoid content with very heavy accents or very fast speakers at first. There's nothing wrong with these once you're more advanced, but for beginners, clear speech is helpful. Tip number 4 is to repeat small chunks, not whole sentences at first. Listen to one sentence, repeat it. Listen to the next sentence, repeat it. This way, you're not overloading your brain. As you get better, you can do longer chunks. Tip number 5 is to actually record yourself sometimes. Speak into your phone or your computer as you repeat. Then, listen to yourself. Compare your pronunciation with the original. You might be surprised at how close you sound. And it helps you hear exactly where you can improve. Tip number 6 is to have fun with it. Try different accents. Try saying it in a silly voice. Try saying it very slowly and very fast. When you make it fun, you're much more likely to stick with it. And believe it or not, playing with the language like this actually helps you learn faster. Tip number 7 is to choose content about topics you care about. If you love sports, find sports videos. If you love cooking, find cooking channels. If you love technology, find tech videos. When you care about the topic, you're naturally more interested in the words and the meaning. Let me be honest with you about what to expect. This method works, but it's not magic. You won't suddenly become fluent overnight, but if you do this consistently, you will see real progress. After 1 week, you might notice that some phrases start to feel more natural when you say them. After 2 weeks, you'll probably notice that you understand more when you listen. After 1 month, you'll likely feel much more confident speaking. After 3 months, the difference will be really noticeable. The timeline depends on how much time you spend and how consistent you are. But I promise you, if you do 15 minutes every single day, you will improve. You will see results. And more importantly, you will feel more confident speaking English. Some days will be harder than others. Some days you'll feel like you're not making progress. This is totally normal. Language learning isn't always linear. You might have a week where you feel stuck, and then suddenly things click and you make a big jump. Just keep going. Let me give you some real examples of how this works. Imagine you're listening to a simple story about a girl going to the market. You hear the sentence, "I went to the market to buy some apples." You listen carefully, and then you pause and say it out loud exactly as you heard it. At first, it might feel strange. Your mouth might not move exactly right, but you do it again and again. After repeating it a few times, something changes. It starts to feel more natural. You start to hear the rhythm. You start to understand how the words connect together. Now imagine you're listening to a cooking video. The chef says, "First, you need to chop the onions very finely." You listen and repeat. Maybe you don't understand finely at first, but from the context, you understand it means in small pieces. You repeat it several times, and now you know this word. You've learned it in a real context with real meaning. Here's another example. You're listening to a song you like. The singer says, "I'll always remember this moment." You listen and repeat, feeling the emotion in the words. You're not just learning the sentence, you're learning how it sounds, how it feels, and how English speakers express emotion. These are simple examples, but they show how this method works in real life. You're learning English the way native speakers learn it. You're learning by listening and copying. And it works. This method works for all levels, but let me explain how to adapt it for different stages. If you're a complete beginner, start with very simple content. Alphabet songs, nursery rhymes, simple greetings, and basic phrases. Content specifically made for small children is perfect because it uses simple language and clear speech. Don't worry about feeling like it's too simple. It's not. It's perfect for where you are. If you're an early beginner, start with stories and simple conversations. YouTube channels like Easy English or English Addict with Mr. Duncan are great. These channels are specifically designed for learners like you. They use simple vocabulary but real English. If you're an intermediate beginner, you can start with more varied content. You can try watching news aimed at learners. You can try listening to podcasts made for English learners. You can try watching TV shows or movies made for children or young people. As you progress, you can take on more challenging content. But remember, the method stays the same. Listen and repeat. The only thing that changes is the difficulty level of the content. While this method is powerful on its own, you can combine it with other techniques for even faster progress. You can combine listening and repeating with reading. Read a book while listening to the audiobook. This helps your brain connect written words with how they sound. This is really powerful for learning. You can combine it with writing. After you repeat sentences, try writing them down from memory. This helps you remember the spelling and reinforces the language in your brain. You can combine it with speaking practice. Join an English conversation group or find a language exchange partner. Practice your speaking with other people. The confidence and natural speech patterns you've learned from listening and repeating will help you in these conversations. You can combine it with learning grammar. If you notice you're making the same mistake repeatedly, look up the grammar rule. But don't start with grammar. Let listening and repeating be your foundation. Then add grammar learning on top of that. Let me warn you about some common mistakes people make with this method. Mistake number 1 is choosing material that's too hard. If you can't understand almost nothing, it's too hard. Go back to easier material. You should understand at least 30 or 40% of what you hear. If you understand less than that, it's too difficult. Mistake number 2 is not speaking out loud. Some people just listen without repeating. They think listening alone is enough. It's not. You need to physically speak the words. This is essential. Mistake number 3 is not being consistent. People do this method for a few days and then stop. Language learning requires consistency. Even 15 minutes every day is better than 3 hours once a week. Mistake number 4 is being too shy to speak out loud. I understand this feeling, but you have to get over it. If you're studying alone, there's no one to hear you feel embarrassed about. Speak loud and clear. Mistake number 5 is trying to be perfect. Don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about your accent being perfect. Just focus on sounding more like what you hear. Close enough is good enough. With practice, you'll get closer and closer to perfect. Mistake number 6 is giving up too soon. Progress in language learning isn't always obvious immediately. You might do this for 2 weeks and feel like nothing's changed, but if you stick with it, change comes. Trust the process. Once you're comfortable with the basic method, here are some advanced tips to take your fluency to the next level. You can try shadowing. This is more advanced than basic repetition. You listen to someone speaking and you speak at the same time, trying to keep up with their speed and intonation. It's harder, but it's very effective. You can record yourself speaking and compare it to the original. Listen to your recording and the original side by side. Notice where they're different. This helps you hear your own mistakes and improve them. You can try to mimic not just the words, but the emotions and expressions. English speakers are very expressive. They use emotion in their voice. Try to copy this. It makes your English sound much more natural. You can transcribe short clips. Listen to a short clip and write down exactly what you hear. This is harder, but it helps you with listening skills and spelling. You don't have to transcribe everything, just a few minutes here and there. You can join online communities of people doing the same thing. Share your progress. Listen to others. Get feedback. Having a community keeps you motivated. Let me talk about the mindset you need for this to work. First, believe that it's possible. You can improve your English. You can become fluent. It's not a magical talent that only some people have. It's a skill you can develop with practice. Second, be patient with yourself. Languages take time to learn. There's no way around this. But if you're consistent, you will progress. Trust this. Third, celebrate small wins. When you notice that you understand a word you didn't understand before, that's a win. When you say a sentence and it sounds natural, that's a win. When you understand a video without subtitles, that's a huge win. Notice these things and feel proud of them. Fourth, remember why you're doing this. What's your goal? Do you want to travel? Do you want a better job? Do you want to connect with people? Keep your goal in mind. This keeps you motivated when it gets hard. Fifth, don't compare yourself to others. Your progress is your progress. Someone else might improve faster. Someone else might improve slower. It doesn't matter. Your journey is unique to you. Sixth, enjoy the process. Find content you love. Make learning fun. If you're always stressed and frustrated, you won't stick with it. But if you're having fun, you'll keep going naturally. I want to tell you about some real results I've seen from people using this method. One student started listening and repeating for just 15 minutes a day. After 1 month, she said, "I started understanding English movies without reading the subtitles. I was so surprised." She kept going, and after 3 months, she was confidently speaking with her English-speaking colleagues at work. Another student was very shy about speaking. He thought his accent was too bad. He did listening and repeating for just 10 minutes every day for 2 months. Then he went to an English conversation group. He was shocked at how natural his English sounded compared to other learners. His accent was clear and easy to understand. He became much more confident. Another student had studied English for years, but always felt stuck. She tried this method, and within weeks, she noticed that English was becoming more natural to her. She wasn't thinking about every word anymore. Words just came to her. Her fluency improved dramatically. These are real people with real results, and you can have the same results. The method works. You just have to do it consistently. Now I want to help you get started right now. Don't wait. Don't think about starting tomorrow or next week. You can start today. Here's your action plan. First, find one piece of content, something short, something interesting to you, something in English. It should be easy enough that you understand at least some of it. If you're not sure where to find content, search for Easy English or English for Beginners on YouTube. You'll find tons of options. Second, listen to it once without trying to repeat anything. Just get a feel for it. Third, listen again and this time repeat out loud. Pause the video, say what you heard, then continue. Fourth, repeat step 3 as many times as you want. Maybe 2 more times, maybe 5 more times. It's up to you. Fifth, do this same content again tomorrow. Your brain needs repetition to learn. Sixth, after a few days, find new content and repeat the process. That's it. That's your plan. It's simple and it works. I'm going to be honest with you. Improving your English takes work. It takes time. It takes consistency. But it's not complicated. You don't need expensive courses. You don't need complicated systems. You just need to listen and repeat regularly with content you enjoy. Your English is going to improve. You're going to speak more naturally. You're going to feel more confident. And it's going to happen faster than you think if you just stay consistent. I believe in you. I believe you can do this. Thousands of people have improved their English with this method. You can too. Start today, right now. Find something to listen to. Set a time every day when you'll practice. Tell a friend you're doing this. Having someone to be accountable to helps. Most importantly, enjoy the journey. Learning English can be fun. It should be fun. Find content you love, and the learning happens naturally while you're enjoying yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this method helps you as much as it has helped so many others. Please let me know in the comments if you try this method. I'd love to hear about your progress. Subscribe for more English learning tips. And remember, you can do this. Your English is going to improve. I'll see you next time. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and believe in yourself. You've got this.